Alright, what's
Alright.
up, YouTube? It's your boy Rodney383 here with fellow member Ziploc Bloody. Say what's up.
What's up,
Alright,
y'all?
so today's topic today is going to be about manga versus comics, but not exactly versus like which one's better. More of a comparison, similarities, and stuff like that. So, first things first, let's start with the obvious. Uh, the obvious is the style of it. Most mangas they tend to be black and white, and they're animated and they're drawn in a certain Asian style, whereas comics are drawn in a more American style, if you will. Um, Now myself, I don't really read manga or comics. I know of it, and I'm thinking about getting into it, but as far as an aficionado on comics, that's your boy Ziploc Bloody. So let's go to Ziploc and let's see what he got to say about this. The styles. I would. What's differences between the styles of manga and comics in your opinion?
Yeah, of course, like you said, like the art styles, but like the writing is kind of like I know comics come out every Wednesday, and it's usually just like the comic, but like with mangas, they have like a different chapter that comes out each week, but it's in the Shonen Jump book, and it's like okay, you got Bleach and Naruto coming out this week, and they all be in that same book. It's the chapter, like it's not the volume coming out that week. It's just the that chapter. And that's one thing that's different. I find different about them. Also, is um, I say the variety is a little bit more in manga. You have more variety. A lot when you think comics, the first thing that comes to your head is probably Marvel and DC stuff, and that's the mainstream stuff. But a lot of people don't know that comics are they got different things going on besides just Marvel and DC
Yeah,
stuff. But yeah, that's one of the differences I see right off
yeah,
the
that's
bat.
what's up. Now as far as the I'm sure that comics they have like events, or I don't know if DC, Marvel, if every comic when they have events that's what they're called. But I know that
Yeah.
manga they have story arcs. So like in terms of that, like what about the length of story? Like I know mangas they have chapters, but also like I know like the Blackest Night book, from watching you and a couple other comic book people that it has only not only Blackest Night books, but then like tie-ins that from other books that weave into like the whole story. So like how easy is it for someone to like just hop on a comic book and with that has a lot of different events in it?
Shoot, man. With me, like what I say, like with comics, if you're just trying to get in, I just say pick a book up and just if you like it, just go back and read more. Like you said, manga has story arcs, like DBZ had the Frieza arc and all that stuff. But um, shoot, I just like I said with comics, I just say start with one book. Like if you into Batman, pick up Batman, a title, and if you like it, just go back and read more stuff. Um, I think manga they tend to stick with the artist, that's writing and drawing it. But with comics, you might get like a different artist, and which kind of annoys me personally. Like you have like an artist and a writer on a comic for a while, but like 2 months later they might get tired of it and leave it, and it just feels like a different book. But with manga, it just stays the same
Oh,
pretty
that's cool.
much.
Cause yeah, that leads me to my next question. Like, a lot of time when I watch like your reviews or Comic Culture Warrior, whatever the case, I noticed that
Hmm.
comic books, like you said, they have different artists and whatnot, and that's and the
Yeah.
art will vary. Sometimes it's displeasing, if you will, or ugly, flat out shitty looking. And other
Yeah.
times that should be looking amazing. I'd be like, damn, somebody made that and put it into a little ass book, like. But as far as the manga goes, like every time I see a manga, and I know like anime is a certain style, but each series tend to bring their own little spin on how the characters look. You know, some don't use
Mm,
the big eyes, some do. But in manga, especially like shonen manga, any type of fighting and shit like that, I know it's pretty
mm-hmm.
much it looks almost the same. Like, do you think is like on a manga standpoint, like say somebody want to make a manga, right? Do you think it's easy
Right.
for somebody to adapt to a manga style, um, as opposed to a comic book style? Because a comic book style, like they got their own styles. Like it's really like some people draw real big, muscular, bulky characters. Some people draw slim, trim type characters. So, but I noticed with manga, you can have different mangas, different series, but yet the art looks somewhat the same. On
Yeah. Yeah. My bad.
Oh
You can
yeah, yeah,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
I'm
I'm done.
sorry
I'm
about
done.
that. I was just gonna say, yeah, like I found like a lot of like Shonen Jump stuff does kind of look the same. Like I know, like I was talking that I did that video on Bleach. Like Tai Kubo's art style like changed. Like he tries to like emulate the anime art style now. Then when he first started, he had like a distinct style. At least to me, he did, but it kind of changed up. But I think like with the more mature manga like Vagabond or something like that, it looks you can tell like that art is a style. Nobody can emulate that. But I do kind of find that a lot of anime styles and manga styles do kind of look the same. Like even
Yeah,
characters too.
and also guys, check out that Vagabond recommendation that Ziploc put up. That's a real good recommendation. Yeah, I really cause I look at the pictures from that manga Vagabond, and then I like think of Bleach or Naruto or whatever, and it's completely different, or even Hellsing or whatever, and I'm like, damn, like that's like a historically accurate type of drawing. You know, not even Veroni Kenshin, like more real than that. You know, like you know what I'm saying. So
Mm,
yeah, that looked
right.
it like what was that anime that you had? Shigori. Yeah, it looks kind
Yeah.
of like that. Like a couple of the characters, and one of the dudes that had real long hair. It looked crazy. But yeah, like all right, that's cool. Let's move on to another question. Now, another thing I got, a big difference is the black and white, with the manga and comic books. American comic books tend to be color. Now, how much does that matter? Like, does the black and white? Cause I like color, like to be honest, but I'm not saying I can't get into the black and white style of things, but I don't know, like, that always kind of bothered me. Not bothered me, like, made me angry or nothing, but it was always something that I thought
Mm-hmm.
about. I'm like, well, wouldn't it be more pleasing for everybody to put it in color? Like, because people want to see red blood, not, splash
I
ink.
get, I get you like
Yeah, I
black and
mean,
stuff.
but like, I mean, the style works though. Like on Street Fighter, Super Street Fighter, like the game, they got like the focus attack, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
that splatter type of ink style. So I do like it though. I just was wondering. I'm like, well, does that really affect you? Like, how if you're reading a manga, how does it feel to go from black and white to color when you start reading a comic book? Is it weird or?
I used to be like that. Like when I first started reading manga, I'm like, oh, this stuff is black and white. Like this kind of garbage. But now it don't bother me that much. Like I do like it's like a nitpick nerd thing for me. But like I do like hate like when artists like I'm trying to get on. I'm trying not to get too much on type Kubo. But when Kubo, man, when he draws stuff like his characters look cool, but sometimes it's like no backgrounds. And I'm just looking like at a plain background. It's like this stuff looks
Yeah,
boring. That's just the
cause
way I
like
feel though.
I remember you said on one of your comic book reviews that like as far as comics, American comics, you might got somebody that do like the character design or whatever, and then you got a whole separate person to do the backgrounds and stuff like that. Like, but
Mm-hmm.
with the manga, is I guess it's like just one person doing it. Like, you know, Taikubo just he drawing everything. So maybe I don't know. He's like, fuck it, just do some speed lines in the back and shit. That's
Yeah, cause like I was saying, they gotta get that stuff out like in a week. Like they gotta have like a chapter just came out this week. They got another one coming out next week, so they got like less time to kind of mess around a little bit or
Damn,
whatever.
that's wild. I mean, that's just a deadline crunch. I don't know if that's has an effect on how the story goes as far as the the downward spiral, so to speak, of the blue.
Yeah, cause I do notice like a lot of manga, cause like they'll take a break for a while. Like you'll read a chapter and be like, he's taking a break for like a 4 week break or something like that. I'm like, okay, that's kind of understandable, cause I don't know, like week after week I kind of get run out of ideas, so I can kind of see where the stories kind of gets a little messed up a little bit.